Is now a good time to sell in Big Bear Lake? The question I get more than almost any other question is, Rachel, is now a good time to sell? And I want to give you a real answer, not a cheerleader answer, and not an answer to avoid answering the question, but a real one with context, data, and the kind of honesty that I would give my own friends and family. Because here's the truth about Big Bear real estate. Timing matters, but it matters differently here than it does in most markets. We are not Los Angeles. We are not Inland Empire. Resort community at nearly 7,000 feet elevation with a seasonal market, a strong short-term rental culture, and a buyer pool that comes from all over Southern California, Nevada, and Arizona. That changes everything about when to sell and how to think about timing. So let's get into it. First, let me give you some market context. Big Bear Lake has seen significant appreciation over the past several years. The pandemic drove a massive wave of buyers up here on the mountain, people who wanted more space, wanted vacation access, or who could suddenly remote work, and they decided they'd rather work from a cabin in Moonridge than a condo in Burbank. That demand pushed prices substantially higher between 2020 and 2023. We saw homes that had been sitting in the mid 400s go for $580,000 or more. We saw multiple offers in the middle of January, which is historically one of our slower months. The market was moving in ways that hadn't happened here in decades. That pace has normalized. I want to be clear about what that means. It has normalized, it has not collapsed. There's a real difference between those two things. Interest rates rose significantly from their historic lows, and that naturally cooled buyer urgency across the country. But here in Big Bear, we've maintained stronger values than many California markets because the desirability of this place has not gone away. People still want to be here. The lake is still here. Snow Summit is still here. The short-term rental income potential is still. The air quality, the pace of life, the community, none of it went anywhere. So what does the current market actually look like? Days on market have increased compared to those pandemic years. We're seeing homes take longer to find a buyer than they did in 2021 and 2022. That's very true. We're seeing price reductions more often, but well-priced, well-presented homes are still selling. The market has not frozen, it has recalibrated. And I would argue a recalibrated market is actually a healthier one for everyone. Here is why that matters for you as a potential seller. Recalibrated markets reward preparation. In a frenzy market, buyers overlooked a lot of things. They waived inspections, they bid against each other on properties that with photos that look like they were taken on a flip phone. In a normalized market, presentation matters more. Pricing strategy matters more. Your agent's marketing reach matters more. That's not a warning, that's an opportunity for sellers who are prepared to show up correctly. Now let's talk about timing within the Big Bear market specifically, because seasonality is real here. It would be irresponsible not to address it. Big Bear has two primary seller windows. The first is spring, roughly March through June. Ski season is winding down or just finished, and buyers who spent the winter dreaming about owning a place up here start getting serious. The weather starts to improve. The lake looks like the way that it does in every postcard you've ever seen about Big Bear, and buyers who want the use of the property over summer are motivated to close quickly so they don't miss that season. The second window is early fall, September through October. Summer visitors have just had their best Big Bear experience, and they don't just want to visit anymore, they want to own up here. Fall buyers are often emotionally motivated in the best way. They've been using Big Bear all summer. They know what they're buying into. They've already imagined their name on the mailbox, and they're trying to get something under contract before ski season kicks off so that they can enjoy their first winter as owners in Big Bear. Now our winter, November through February, is slower. Not dead, but just slower. Some of the best deals that I've put together for sellers happened in December and January because the buyers who are out looking in those months are serious. They're not window shoppers. They're not curious. They're very committed. But the buyer pool is smaller and inventory tends to thin out as well. So it's a trade-off worth understanding. So when is a good time to sell? If you're in spring, you're sitting in the first ideal window. If you're watching this later in the year, the calculus shifts a little bit, but it doesn't mean you wait. It means we plan. But here's the bigger point, and I want you to really hear this. The question of the right time to sell is almost always the wrong question. The right question is, am I ready? And is the price right? Because buyers don't care what month it is when they fall in love with a property. A well-priced cabin in Moonridge with great photos, a strong digital marketing strategy, and an accurate STR income data will sell in February. A poorly priced one with blurry photos, no exposure, and an agent who doesn't understand the Big Bear market will sit through June and July. The property is the same. The outcome is completely different. So let me talk about who's buying in Big Bear Lake right now, because understanding your buyer is as important as understanding your market. Our buyer pool breaks into a few main categories. First, you've got your Southern California second home buyer, families from the San Gabriel Valley, the Inland Empire, Orange County, who want a place to escape on weekends and during their school breaks. They're typically financing these, which means interest rates affect their purchasing power directly. A half-point rate change can move their max comfortable price by tens of thousands of dollars. And second, we've got investors looking for short-term rental income. People who want a cabin they can put on Airbnb or VRBO, generate revenue when they're not using it, and ideally have the rental income offset a meaningful portion of their carrying cost. These buyers care deeply about the STR potential of a specific property. They want to know, does it have a hot tub? Does it have a game room? What's the permit situation like? What are comparable properties actually generating per year? These are the details that close deals for this buyer type. And then third, you have full-time residents, people who have chosen Big Bear Lake as their primary home, whether that's retirees who want a mountain lifestyle or remote workers who made the move permanent after a few years of weekend visits. Each of those buyer categories has a different sensitivity to interest rates, timing, and market conditions. If your home appeals strongly to one group more than another, that should shape your marketing strategy. A 4-bedroom cabin in Fawnskin with a game room, hot tub, and Lakeview deck markets very different than 2-bedroom cottage in Big Bear City near the schools. They're both great homes. They're not the same buyer. And treating them the same way in marketing is how you leave money on the table. Now, I want to address something that comes up almost in every seller conversation. Should I wait for interest rates to come down? This is a real question and I take it seriously. Here's my honest answer. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can tell you with certainty when rates will move or by how much. Anyone who tells you they know where rates will be in 6 months is just guessing. What we do know is that when rates drop significantly, buyer demand tends to surge quickly. That's great for sellers in theory. More competition means upward pressure on prices, but it also means more competing listings as well. Every seller who's been sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to drop will list at the same time you do. So a rate drop doesn't automatically mean a slam dunk for sellers. It depends on how much inventory hits the market at the same moment. What I tell my sellers consistently is this: if your personal situation supports selling now, if you're ready to move, if you need the equity, if the timing works for your life, then waiting on a macro factor you can't control, it is itself a form of risk. Every month you wait is a month of carrying cost. Property taxes, insurance, HOA fees if you have them, maintenance, and utility. In Big Bear especially, mountain homes require real ongoing upkeep. The roofs up here take a beating. The decks need to be sealed. Plumbing doesn't love hard freezes. The cost of owning a mountain property doesn't pause while you wait for better conditions. Let me talk about net proceeds, because this is where sellers sometimes get caught off guard. The sale price and your net are two different numbers, and the gap between them matters a lot. Your net depends on your remaining mortgage balance, real estate commissions, closing costs, and any other seller concessions that come out of negotiation, and what you've put into the property to prepare it for the market. I walk every seller through a detailed net sheet before we even talk about a list price. I want you to know exactly what you're walking away with, not a surprise at the close of escrow, a real number, because that number is what drives your next move. Whatever it is, buying something else, paying off debt, investing, simply knowing what your options are. In California, sellers typically pay real estate commissions, title and escrow fees, and the county transfer taxes. In San Bernardino County, the documentary transfer tax is $1.10 per $1,000 of the sales price. So on a $700,000 sale, you're looking at $770 in transfer taxes. Not enormous, but it's part of the picture. I also recommend sellers budget for repair requests that come out of inspection processes. Setting aside 1 to 2% of the expected sales price as a contingency is smart planning. It keeps you from being caught flat-footed when a buyer's inspection finds the water heater is 10 years overdue. One of the things that makes Big Bear categorically different from most California markets is the short-term rental factor. And I want to spend real time on this because it matters. Short-term permits in the city of Big Bear Lake have been regulated for several years now, and those regulations have evolved over time. If your home has an active STR permit, that adds genuine quantifiable value to your property. Buyers who intend to use this home as a vacation rental know that obtaining a new permit can be difficult, and that the city has placed new limits on new permit issuance in some areas. They will often pay a meaningful premium for a property that already has a permit in place. If your home doesn't have an STR permit, that doesn't make it unsellable, not at all. It changes your buyer pool and your positioning. You're marketing to buyers who intend to use it personally or buyers who are comfortable with the uncertainty of the permit process. That's still a real pool of buyers, but it's a smaller one, and an accurate representation of the permit status is not optional. I've seen transactions fall apart because the permit situation wasn't disclosed or wasn't understood correctly from the very beginning, and we like to handle that up front. I also want to address the Airbnb ecosystem specifically because it drives so many buying decisions at this price point. Big Bear Lake is one of the most searched vacation rental markets in Southern California. Properties in the right neighborhood with the right amenities, hot tubs, ski in, ski out access, proximity to the lake, game rooms, good photos, strong reviews can generate significant annual income. That income potential is a real factor in how a property should be positioned for sale. If your cabin has an STR history, I want to know that actual income numbers because we can use them in our marketing if they're good. Buyers calculate ROI. Give them real numbers to work with. Now let me talk about condition because it's one of those factors that sellers have the most direct control over. A home that needs visible deferred maintenance will sit longer and typically sell for a lot less. Not because buyers are being unreasonable, but because they're pricing in the cost and the hassle of the work that they'll inherit. A new buyer looking at a cabin with a weathered deck, missing fascia boards, and an HVAC system that's been limping along is mentally subtracting the cost of those repairs from what they're willing to offer. And they're probably overestimating the cost. I see it all the time because that's what you do when you're the one taking on the risk. If your property needs significant work, we have a real conversation about whether it makes more sense to address it before listing or to price it in as is and target buyers who are comfortable with a project. There's no single right answer. It depends on your budget, your timeline, and what the market is doing at that moment. What I won't do is let a seller list a property that needs obvious work at a price that assumes the work has been done. That's a recipe for sitting on the market, watching your listing going stale, getting mad at me, and eventually selling for less than you would have if you'd gotten the strategy right from day one. The communities within Big Bear matter too, and I want to be specific about this because buyers are often looking at distinct neighborhoods with distinct personality. Moonridge is popular for its proximity to Bear Mountain Ski Resort and its quieter wooded character. character. Fawnskin sits on the north shore of the lake, and it has a loyal following to buyers who love the more remote, peaceful feel. Boulder Bay has some of the most coveted lakefront and lakeview properties in the area. And Big Bear City, technically a separate community from the city of Big Bear Lake, but part of the same market area, offers generally lower price points with more year-round residential character. Sugarloaf has a great value and is popular with buyers looking for their first mountain property at an accessible price. Twin Lake is a quieter pocket that often appeals to buyers who want a little more distance from the tourist corridor. Each of these communities has its own demand dynamics, its own price per square foot, its own buyer type. When I'm advising a seller, I'm not looking at the entire Big Bear market as one monolithic thing. I'm looking at your specific neighborhood, your specific property type, and your specific competition. That granularity matters when you're setting a price. Let me bring this back to the central question. Is now a good time to sell? Here's how I like to think about it. If you have equity in your property, and if you've owned in Big Bear for more than 3 or 4 years, you almost certainly do, then the question isn't whether you can, the question is whether selling serves your goals right now. If the answer is yes, the market is workable. It's not effortless, but nothing worth doing ever is. A well-prepared, well-priced property with strong marketing will find the right buyer. If you've been on the fence, I understand that. Selling a mountain property, especially one that holds personal meaning, a family cabin, or a place that you've spent summers and holidays for years, carries real emotional weight. That's not just a transaction, that's a chapter closing. I approach that with respect every time. And I also know that sometimes the right move is forward, and doing it well means doing it with intention and the right support. I've worked with sellers across this market, from entry-level cabins in Sugarloaf to lakefront properties in Boulder Bay. Every situation is different. What's consistent is that sellers who come in prepared and price realistic and strategically minded get the best outcomes. Not always the fastest sale, not always the highest number on the page, but the best overall outcome given the actual conditions on the ground. If you're thinking about selling, whether it's this spring, this summer, or sometime in the next year, I want to be the first person you talk to. Not because I'll tell you what you want to hear, but because I'll tell you the truth. I'll show you the numbers and help you make a decision that's right for you and your life. I pull the data for your specific neighborhood, your specific property type, and I give you a real picture of where things stand, what similar homes have sold for, how long they took, and what made the difference between a fast sale and a slow one. There's no cost to that conversation. There's no obligation, just information delivered straight. Call me or shoot me a text at 909-744-2190. I answer my phone and I respond to my text. You can also visit buyinbigbearlake.com to see current listings, recent sales, and real-time look at what the Big Bear market is doing right now. If this was helpful, share it with somebody who's asking the same question. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.